Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. For this week, we don't have one teacher's work that leads us into every morning's meditation. We have a whole collection of beautiful teachers to draw from for this week. And for today specifically, the thoughts come from Jon Kabat-Zinn, from David Lynch, and from John Welwood. Granny, good morning. Sunmary, good morning. Awesome seeing you here. Very happy to start my day here live with you on Facebook. So let's get into today's thoughts. Could you imagine yourself peeling back layers, revealing a truer, more authentic you beneath? This is not just a handy metaphor, it is the reality of what meditation does for us. While we have accumulated all of these layers in an attempt to make ourselves more presentable, more acceptable to the world, this inauthentic self that we've been constructing becomes our cage, dimming our light, preventing us from sharing our true gifts with the world. This experience is all too familiar for many of us, so let's peel back those layers, shed the armor, and rediscover the real you. Stefan, good morning. It is good to see you. Hello. Jon Kabat-Zinn says, "It is indeed a radical act of love just to sit down and be quiet for a time by yourself." David Lynch says, "The thing about meditation is you become more and more you." And John Welwood says, "Meditation provides a way of learning how to let go. As we sit, the self we've been trying to construct and make into a nice, neat little package continues to unravel." Charlene, good morning. Awesome seeing you. Hello. So let me recap these few thoughts, these few quotes. A radical act of love, becoming more and more you, the image of ourself that we've been showing the world starting to unravel. There is a becoming that is available to us, and meditation is a tremendously helpful tool in this process. Meditation means to become familiar with. And that opens up a question. What is it that I become familiar with while I meditate? While I sit and observe, I become familiar with thoughts and feelings that arise within me. The more I observe, the more it becomes clear that while these thoughts and feelings come, they also go. With time, I become familiar with the origin of these thoughts and feelings, seeing clearly the events and old messaging that created these old thought patterns within me. The easier it becomes for me to observe these old thoughts and feelings, the easier it is to know that thoughts and feelings are not me. Who I am is the one who's watching. By meditating, you are showing up for yourself. You are becoming more and more you as the old layers of armor that you thought you had to hold up for protection slowly unravel. Today we explore these layers of protection that no longer serve us by taking a look at the masks that we may have picked up on our journey. You might find that you've outgrown some of these old ways in which you used to hide yourself. So if you're ready, let's go there. You can close your eyes, and we'll start with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. a deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, feel yourself grow, feel yourself expand from your core outwards in all directions. And once you have a belly full of air, then again let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. Continue your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and falling with every exhale. As we have a quick chat about the idea of layers of armor or masks that we might have picked up the habit of using. It is an ancient part of our programming that we would want to instinctively want to be accepted by the humans around us. There was a time when living in a small tribe and having the protection of the other humans in this tribe was integral to our survival. And while there has been a lot of evolution in the world around us, we live in a much different world than the world that was made up of only small tribes. These bodies, though, they carry a long memory. And being accepted, being a part of a small tribe in which we feel protected, is something we still have an instinct for. Therefore, in those moments, especially in our childhood, where it was made clear to us that the way we are is not acceptable and that we'd have to show up in a different way in order to be accepted, those usually had quite an impact on us. We felt the weight of having to put on a mask and show a different face so that we are not rejected, not left out of the tribe. When we go on this journey, it is never to point a finger at the humans around us, people that may at some point, without even knowing, have caused us to feel rejected, to feel less than, to feel that we have to change ourselves to be accepted. It's not a judgment on the people around us, and it's also not a judgment on any of us, on our supposed weakness for feeling that we need to wear a mask. But it is a journey of understanding. It is, as the word meditation means, a journey of becoming familiar with. Becoming familiar with something that is at the heart of a lot of our thoughts and emotions. Our need to be accepted. We'll do the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to do right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. And if you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. We'll do the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel all the way into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting, feel your whole body dissolving, feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, the reminder is we're stepping into the past to take a look at the masks you might have picked up along the way. But our focus is not really the masks. We'll get back to it at the end. Our focus is Who are you really, beneath all the masks? Take your next big breath. First, we're going back as far as we can remember, as small as we can remember. Our interactions with our parents or whoever our primary caregivers may have been. Can you remember a moment in which it was made clear to you that the way you are is not acceptable? And that you'd have to show up differently if you want to be accepted? Is there an example of that you can remember from your very earliest years? Take your next big breath. If you might have picked up a mask from that very early time in your life, right now, you can take that mask off and gently put it on the floor next to you. In our very young lives, we have more adults having a big impact, playing a big role in our lives. Sometimes it's grandparents, uncles and aunts, or whatever other adults there might have been in our very young lives. Can you perhaps remember an example of a moment with any of the other adults where you were clearly made to feel like the way you showed up was not acceptable and that you'd have to show up differently? You'd have to show a different face in order to be accepted. See if you can find such an example. Take your next big breath. That too is a mask that you can take off right now and gently place on the floor next to you. those very first few years, we tend to have spent some time with other young children too. They may have been our siblings, our cousins, friends from the neighborhood. Can you remember a moment with siblings, cousins, or young friends where one of these friends, or maybe a few of them, made you clearly feel like how you were being was not good enough, and that you'd had to show up differently in order to be accepted? See if you can find such an example with other younger kids in your life. Take your next big breath. That too is a mask you can take off and gently place on the floor next to you. As we grow a bit older, throughout our whole schooling career, teachers play a big role in our lives, in how we see ourselves. Can you remember a moment with a teacher where you were clearly made to feel like the way you are is not acceptable, and you would have to show up differently if you wanted to be accepted? See if you can find an example with a teacher. Take your next big breath. You can gently take off that mask and place it on the floor next to you. Another big impact in our teenage lives were the peers whose opinions might have been very important to us at that point in our lives. A time when we really are forming our identity. Can you remember a moment with a friend, a teenage friend specifically, where you were made to feel like the way you are is not acceptable? That you would have to show up differently, wearing a mask, showing a different face in order to be accepted. Take your next big breath. while most of these messages are made in our childhood, it doesn't stop there. In our adulthood, we have them too. Especially in our relationships, our romantic relationships. Of course, it'll play a huge role how someone we love reacts to us. Can you remember an example in your adult relationships where you were clearly made to feel that the way you are is not acceptable and that you'd have to show up differently in order to be accepted? Take your next big breath. And that mask as well. You can take it off and gently place it on the floor next to you. And then we'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, invite softness once again to slip in and settle in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down, and feel yourself just floating. I want to make it clear again that the idea of stepping backwards into the past and reminding ourselves of where we might have picked up the need for some of the masks or layers of armor. This is not an attempt to point fingers at the humans around us and judge them for being bad humans. Because they too were only humans doing the best they knew how. And it's not a judgment on any of us that we were not strong enough. It is a recognition of being human. And that, of course, from an evolutionary point of view, we'd have a need to be accepted by our tribe. So it's an attempt to understand. And perhaps it even helps us look at those humans with a bit more compassion. I want to read to you one more time the thoughts from our teachers this morning. John Kabat-Zinn said, "It is indeed a radical act of love just to sit down and be quiet for a time by yourself. This moment that you're spending right now with yourself, understanding a little bit more about yourself, is a radical act of love." David Lynch says, "The thing about meditation is you become more and more you." And if you have a better understanding of your own masks, the things you've been using to protect yourself from the world around you, you certainly are understanding you. And if you are able to take off one or two of those masks, you are certainly becoming more and more you. John Wellwood says, "Meditation provides a way of learning how to let go. As we sit, the self we've been trying to construct and make into a nice, neat little package continues to unravel. The old self. All of the ways that we tried to make ourselves acceptable and accepted unravels more and more. Because you are becoming more and more you. The deeper question here is, who are you underneath all the layers of armor? What is the real you under the masks you show the world? Who are you underneath all of the fear? If it wasn't for the fear, if it wasn't for the masks, if it wasn't for the armor, who would you be? Because the truth is, that is who you are. Everything else is just a reaction in fear. Who are you before the world showed you who you should be? Your soul knows, and you can trust your soul to show you. It's hardly ever possible for anyone to rip off all of these masks all at once and step into the world in a full authentic self. It hardly ever goes that way. It is small steps. But make a point of reminding yourself to try it out more and more. What would it be if you wore the old masks less? What would it be if you tried a little bit less hard to please everyone else? It's okay if sometimes it feels like we can't and we still reach for an old mask. But you are on this journey. You are using them less. And it wouldn't be surprising if one day you just don't use any of the old masks ever again. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in Thank you for this journey. Just a reminder of where some of our thoughts, feelings, emotions come from. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to be kind and gentle with this human that is growing, but sometimes still feels like not all of this is easy. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to extend that kindness and gentleness to the humans around us. Realizing that even if we may be impacted or may have been impacted by someone making us feel less than, we realize that they had their own experiences like that. They also grew up with messaging that told them that they are not good enough. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for becoming more and more me. Slowly getting a deeper and deeper understanding of who this soul is, what the expression of this soul is underneath all of the fear. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for walking this journey with us. With meditation like this one, I feel like I always have to add that it could be possible, and I don't expect it to be so, but it could be possible that sometimes we encounter something in this meditation which feels a little bit hard to deal with, a little bit hard to integrate. And I want to remind you that you can reach out to me in those cases. That is what I do. That is my day job. But I feel confident that this experience feels expansive and feels like you are becoming more and more you. Thank you, Grania. Hey, Colette, it's good to see you. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Vivian, a very good morning. It's always good to see you. Anna Marie, thank you for joining us. It's awesome seeing you in the meditation. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Stefan. Have an awesome day, everybody. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.